Hey, let me introduce y'all to a couple of my juicy, delicious friends. Oh, you mad, right? You're delicious, though. What is going on? Listen, I got something a little weird today. I kind of went down this road with some of these portable, disposable grills, and came across something. It's called a Cassis grill. Now, supposedly in 2017, this won a Danish Design Award. What this is a disposable grill that contains no metal in it. This whole thing is going to be made of charcoal and wood and, biodegradable materials is what they're talking about on here. They're telling me this light's easy and it should run for 60 minutes. Now, it's surprising, how are we going to burn charcoal and get this thing hot and going, but we're not going to burn the wood. That's the grill surface. It's going to be really weird. So let's break this open and check it out. All right, so as I said, inside is a little charcoal grill. The bars we're gonna cook on are actually made of wood. On the side of this box, it says here, quick oxy-light, so that this thing should be lit and ready to go in 5 minutes. So I'm gonna grab a lighter. We're gonna get this thing rolling, and either we're gonna make some wings in a few minutes here, or we're gonna warm our hands by the bonfire this thing turns into. Let's check it out. All right, so once you crack this bad boy open, you do get a little sheet of instructions that come out, and there's some paper wraps that go on it, and the lid, the grill surface does actually come off. Well, like I said, that's wood and some cardboard essentially on there. All right, so inside of here, they give you this little stand situation. So you're gonna make yourself a little tabletop out of it. So these little legs slide inside of those little legs. All right, so what you're left with is this little stand here. Okay, but these, they have little niches that are in there. So you're not just gonna toss it on there and hope it doesn't slide around. It's gonna sit on just like this. But what it has is these little flaps that open up right here. We're gonna get those flaps out. And then these little flaps are gonna slide into the slots that are remaining on the top of the little stand. Just to give you a little sturdiness so I guess it doesn't go shooting out the end. This is a little bit of, I don't know, some kind of a ceramic material, I would imagine, that's gonna protect the casing on this. Ain't nothing to it, but we're gonna light it up. And these are these weird charcoals with like the holes in the middle, and so I don't always have great luck with these. Let's start at the opposite side so I don't burn myself up here. How about that? All right, so it's gonna be a little harder to see on camera here. Let me see if I can put this paper up as the backdrop or anything. To see, there are kind of some clear flames, but it doesn't really call for much flame, but I'm getting smoke and like a sparkling effect off the top of this. I've run into a lot of charcoal like this lately. It's just, newfangled charcoal, I guess. They have different chemicals on these things. Some of the circles, they don't ever even light a fire. They just sparkle. I can already see, just from letting it run after lighting and talking, we're getting some white spots, a bunch, these charcoals, and it is actually very hot. All right, so we are at about 6 or 7 minutes. All I did is run inside, grab some chicken, grab a pair of tongs, come back out. All the charcoals seem to have turned real white. There's a few around the edges, and this one right here that's still got a little bit, and there is crazy heat coming off the top. All right, so the next piece is, instead of sitting this all the way back down there, there's just the littlest niches that are in this cover that you can see along that lip. And the little flap that we use to secure that on there is what we're gonna set those little niches right into. Just to give yourself a little clearance, I guess, over the top of the charcoals. All right, let's get rocking and put some of these on there. See if we get any kind of searing sound, or I don't know how that works on a piece of wood, All right, so now we got this thing loaded off. Now, granted, I'm in a mid-60s day, good breeze going. There's not gonna be any lid for this. So putting those chickens on there, I'm feeling a great amount of heat coming off the top of this thing. And I do hear a little bit of sizzle from the chicken on this. But this doesn't seem like it's gonna be the kind of thing that's a super fast process, you know what I mean? So what I'm gonna do is, in about 5-minute increments, I'm gonna check back in, see what the bottom looks like, see if it's time to maybe we can get these flipped over. Let's pop in at this first 5-minute mark, and I'm gonna give them a 1 flip. Okay, so as I expected, things are on the edges. That's actually got a little color on it. Oh, this second one here is a beauty. All right, so what I've done is flipped them over, and I've moved some of the ones that did well for the first flip, before the first flip, kind of to the center, and some of the other ones to the outside edge. At 5 minutes, man, we're getting a couple grill marks. So already, listen, so we are at the 10-minute mark. Now, the first 5 minutes of this session, I had this grill up on the top rack, and I didn't think it would make that much of a difference, but it sure kind of did. So now I've moved it down to this lower rack, and we're really getting some cooking. So let's flip these over for a second time and run a third 5 minutes and see if we can't, while it's a little bit closer. I mean, we're getting way better color than I was just a second ago up high. You know, surprisingly, the wooden bars that are your grill surface, they're holding up well. We're getting charred chicken off the middle of this thing. I mean, you know, first session, even at that high level, I got really good char on these wings, you know what I mean? So, all right, 15-minute mark. And like I said, had I had this grill on the lower surface originally, I think we could have probably gotten where we're at right now, you know, in probably more like 12-ish, you know what I mean? But seems to be, so far, this thing is putting decent little char on these things. Still good smoke, and it smells delicious coming off of there with the charcoal. Let's clear this chicken away for a second. And let's look at what the wooden bars in the middle are looking like now. I mean, these bars are as good as the minute we lit them. You know, they're a little bit flexible, but they are definitely not charred and burning off. Nothing's actually really sticking to these things, so, you know, that's kind of cool. All right, Cassis Grill, eco-friendly. This is biodegradable, 100% all natural materials. It really did light up in 5 minutes magically. These new charcoals confuse me, but they work great. Once I got where I wanted this bar set up at the low level, we started getting really good char. 15, 16 minutes of cooking for some wings seems long. Like I said, we probably could have done this in 10 or 12 had I started at the bottom level. You know, people that don't want to get crazy with fire and smoke everywhere, but you just want to set up an easy little thing, get it lit, make yourself a couple little burgers or some wings, you know, and then once it cools down, you throw it away and you don't have to think about it for a while. I'm going to leave the link in the description for this product, and it'll also be in my Amazon store if you care to look at it. I kind of like the little thing, if I'm honest. If you want something disposable, you don't really care about whether it's got environmentally safe products in it. Maybe some metal is fine for you, but that's going to be on a bit cheaper level. I have a video I'm going to put up right here in the corner that is of a different couple disposable grills that I did a shootout for last week. And then right below that, I'm going to put a portable folding, fully metal, you're going to keep this for a long time and just use it as you will grill. And check those videos out. I appreciate y'all.